The Student Union Building, a center for studying, clubs, and socializing. The sub is the heart of student life. In its youth, the current sub served the 20,000 students of 1968 well. It was a much-needed improvement over its predecessor, Brock Hall. The sub came complete with a bowling alley, record listening lounge, and was soon to be the home of the first bar on campus, courtesy of David Suzuki and friends. But with a massive change in the needs of a population that has steadily increased to more than 50,000 students, the sub is showing its age. Students struggle to find study space, room for club activities, and enough time to grab lunch.
Is this the student loans line?
Yeah, it is. Oh no, this is not the student loans line. This is for the Korean food.
The density of students in the old sub is to the point that it's hard to actually run all the activities you want to run.
Our membership has doubled over the last 7 years, so from 230 to 460. Since there's so many more people at the station, we're having trouble finding workspaces for everybody.
We're probably about 400 active members right now. The space constraints are just definitely become a problem.
A majority of our club space, you actually have to exit the building for the most part to enter. For instance, where the Chinese Varsity Club is located now is in an area where some UBC janitors don't even know where it's at.
Cornered into nooks and crannies and offices that look suspiciously like closets, students needed more space and better resources. Its lack of natural light and outdated design even left Justin Trudeau struggling to look his best. So in 2007, students formed the Sub Renewal Committee and posed the question: do we expand the sub, renovate the current space, or forget it and build something incredible, something new?
It became clear that the cost to renovate the sub was going to be outstanding. It was going to be in the order of $80 million. And we were looking at the cost of a new building, and it was in the $100 million range. We could renovate this old building and try to make it work for us, or we could have a blank slate, create this amazing opportunity to do anything we want to in a new space for a quarter of the extra money. Well, it just makes sense.
A year later, students voted yes in a referendum to build a new sub. And after 3 years of negotiating with the university, students also selected the architects that would design the new building.
The winning firm was one that really understood what it meant to do student consultation, had unique and ideas that we hadn't heard about and we were excited about in terms of the student consultation, and that's why we chose Dialogue plus BH.
Dialogue and B+H became joint architects of the Nest. Dialogue previously designed Granville Island's redevelopment, while B+H was the architect behind UBC's Marine Drive residences.
Our whole campaign was entitled, "What's Your Sub?" We generated about 7 different ideas as to how we might be able to put the building together.
So many different interests and needs and purposes of the building. And to ensure that you're always talking to the right people at the right time and make sure that everyone is feeling heard and also being able to influence the process was quite difficult.
We asked them, we need storage. What kind of storage options do you have? We needed workbench space so that we could work on our skis and wax them and fix a lot of the other gears.
How about some public art in the building? Or maybe we should have some coverings so that we can be outside even though it's pouring rain.
This is a building all about community and people collaborating. The success of the building will be a function of how the students inhabit it and use it.
Space that is really going to work for the current student population.
Almost every hall is accommodated with an area for students to sit down, plug in, study, and at the same time there's a multitude of smaller booking rooms that students can book study group sessions in.
We've created places that aren't going to be congested. The lineups will be quite distinct. And there's a ton more places where people can go and sit and eat. You can go outside, you can go to the knoll. We've tried to design something that doesn't feel like the classrooms that we inhabit every day. We've tried to get this like a living room of one's own.
In the old sub, everything was built very flat. There was really little tie between levels, whereas here, the stairs, that flow, is all built into one large space.
It's going to make it really easy to find your way through where you're going. So I think that's going to contribute to getting a greater sense of spaciousness.
And in that, there is the performance space, which is just an outstandingly beautiful piece of architecture, and I think will actually be really, really helpful for different uses and for students to book that space.
We're really excited to have a high-profile location where people can see right into our main broadcasting booth and hear the sound in the main space.
One of my favorite aspects is the climbing wall, and it is on such display in the Nest.
Made sure to have climbing space on the roof, which makes it a little bit more of an interesting wall.
This building isn't merely about creating another campus centerpiece. The Nest is about empowering students to create and organize the university experience they want. It's the culmination of thousands of hours of work to create a home for the next 100 years. A space for students to take charge and lead on campus. So, how will you make your nest?